What makes Eren Jaeger a compelling character? Even before the fall of Wall Maria, when he was a child, he was different than those around him. He desired and yearned to join the Survey Corps. To him, living inside the walls was the same as being a caged animal, a caged bird. And, he went as far as to say even to his mother that, the people who insist on living peacefully behind the walls, they're the ones who are foolish. That was the fight he had with his mom, before the Colossal Titan came and shattered their world. Eren wants freedom. And I think that's such a basic, raw human emotion that we can immediately empathize. There isn't a single person on this planet who would be happy with being enslaved, being oppressed, being restricted. And I think Eren exhibits that right from the start. And to me, that is extremely compelling. And remember, this is before anything. This is chapter 1. This is episode 1. Nothing has happened yet. And to me, that seals the deal of why we want to follow him. Is the moment the wall collapses and he sees his mom eaten right before his eyes, too weak to do anything. No one else can do anything. The regret, he just finished having a fight with her. And he loved his mom. The hatred at these mindless, and this is what we know at the time, these mindless beasts that have, he had already, resented the Titans as much as anybody else would, right? They were in the way of his dream. They won't let him explore outside the walls, At that point in the story, Armin had already shown him the book. He wants to see the ocean. He wants to see the deserts, the snowfields. And those Titans were blocking him. But he didn't feel anything specific, right? He had no reason to hate them specifically. He never lost anyone to them. It's, they were just part of everyday life. But seeing his mother die in front of him, this young kid says he's going to kill them all. And now you're watching this. Whatever age you are, whether you're young or you're old, you can relate to loss, hatred, assigning blame, and the intense emotion that Eren gives off. It's easy to get swept up with it. You're already, like I said, partial to him because, nobody's going to go against the notion of freedom. And when you concentrate, his emotions, his feelings, everything into one ball, you get behind it. This ball of hatred. And from that moment on, you'll cheer for Eren. Kill them all. These are mindless beasts. You don't have to think about the other side or anything. Their whole goal is to break the wall and eat humanity. We saw it firsthand. Eren joins the military, and his end goal is to kill all the Titans. He goes on to try to accomplish his dreams, and we're on the edge of our seat, whether we're reading or we're watching, following this journey. And the thing about when you are into a character, you care about the characters he cares about, by proxy. He cares about Armin and Mikasa. The funny thing is, even before the story, that's when the wall breaks down. But even before that, before we got introduced to this, freedom-loving kid, he had saved Mikasa as a kid stabbing adults. Eren he's been making hard choices from the beginning. He killed at a young age. And again, you can applaud him for that. It was the right thing to do. He saved a little girl who ends up becoming essentially family. Armin, he was the one who even instilled the dream of the outside into Eren, right? Eren loves his friends, Mikasa and Armin. They're both a part of him. And right now, in the beginning of this story, remember, this is the very beginning, and this makes Eren extremely compelling. Freedom-loving, has a concrete goal of killing all the Titans. It's hatred. We can relate to the feeling of loss. Everyone can. We can relate to the feeling of freedom. We can relate to, being on his side behind all this. But the thing that makes Attack on Titan and Eren Jaeger, to a large extent, really, really, really good is the fact that Eren has so many character arcs throughout the series. He eventually becomes a Titan himself, and that's something to deal with, right? The guy who hates Titans the most ends up becoming a Titan himself. He was referred to as the Rage of Humanity. This makes him feel special, that he is the one who is destined to kill all the Titans. He has the power now. Before, you could be losing so many scouts or soldiers or whoever just fighting the Titans. He becomes a Titan himself and now has the power to help take the wall back, actually have a fighting chance, and it makes him feel special. But the thing is, and while it makes him feel special, we got character arcs where we have him have to realize whether he needs to trust himself or trust others. Eren wants to rely on himself and his new powers, but everyone tells him, trust us, trust us, trust us. And so he does. And what happens? Everyone dies. Squad Levi ends up getting killed. And that devastates Eren, and he comes to the realization he just trusted his own power. But the moment he starts trusting his own power, he gets kidnapped. First Annie, he loses in a fight to her. The female Titan, he gets kidnapped by her, he has to be saved. Later on, he fights Reiner, loses that fight, gets kidnapped again, has to be saved. Later on, gets kidnapped again by Rice, again, has to be saved. This makes the character extremely compelling. He is our protagonist. He is empowered, and yet he loses. And each and every one of those losses is an opportunity for growth. If your character does not lose, if they don't go through struggles, they're not growing. And Eren Jaeger, from the beginning, from our base freedom-loving kid, has had trial after trial after trial. Does he trust himself? Does he trust others? Is he special? Is he not special? Nobody refers to him as humanity's greatest soldier. That's Levi. Mikasa is up there. He's not a, his dreams came from, what's it called, Armin. Erwin has his own dreams. Those are our dreamers. That's not Eren. And he came to realize that while being kidnapped by Rice and being held hostage, potentially almost eaten by Historia. He got the memories back and he realizes, hey, I'm nobody special. And that was a whole character arc. From the moment he got his Titan powers and he thinks he's special and he's the one who's going to save humanity, to the point where he can't. And we're following this all along, right? There are times you can even dislike him for it, right? You want a strong character who never doubts himself and perseveres on. We're having Eren being kidnapped. We have him crying. We have him being and people are saying, stop being crybaby to him. But all of this matters for the character that he soon becomes. Eren was extremely depressed, when he realized he's no one special. But when he gets access to that memory from his mother, that it's okay, he doesn't have to be somebody special because he was born into this world, that becomes a huge staple part of his character. We now have a guy who has all been about freedom, all about seeing behind the wall, seeing the ocean. He got that from Armin. But this is himself. He's okay with being nobody special. He's okay with that because he was born into this world. This becomes a really strong part and honestly core of his character. It's compelling to see this growth. From that moment on, you don't see Eren crying anymore. But we do see one of the most powerful scenes, in my opinion, in the entire show, is they finally finish killing all the Titans on Paradise. They get to the beach, they see the ocean, and everybody is happy. Armin, Mikasa, Jean, Connie, Sasha, even Hanji and Levi. But not Eren. He's seen his father's memories. He looks across the sea and asks, hey, If we kill all our enemies over there, will we finally be free? Everyone was just happy to see the ocean. But Eren knows that it's not over. He killed the Titans, his vow as a kid. But it doesn't matter. The Titans were just Eldians. They were his people to begin with. The real enemies are the ones who are turning them into Titans across the sea. The real enemies are the ones who want to see them dead. We have a character who values freedom, that we have followed from the beginning. We have seen him lose. We have seen him win. We've seen him cry. And all he wants to do is be free. He wants his friends to be free. He wants his friends to live long lives. Eren doesn't always make the right choice, ethically, morally, or any other way. But we understand him. We understand where he's coming from when he does make the choices he does. We've seen the trust himself, trust others. We've seen him be kidnapped. We've seen him accomplish and win. He beat Reiner. We see him grow. And this all ends up leading up to the moment where he arrives in Marley. He arrives in Liberio, and he's talking to Reiner. And it's finally switched. Eren Jaeger is going to keep moving forward until all of his enemies are destroyed. Because he was born into this world. And since he was born into this world, he deserves to be free. He deserves to live. And with the whole world sitting there declaring war on Paradise, he sprung into action. His allies, his friends, they didn't approve of that. But we as the viewer who know Eren, we know what he wants, we know his goal, we stand behind him. This was what makes Eren compelling. That we can see the transformation of a kid who's always a little bit angry. But he's had goals, and his childhood goal of being free and keep making sure his people are free, anybody can empathize with that. Anybody. There are so many people who are on Team Eren till the end, no matter what. And Eren, the decisions he makes, he doesn't make them lightly. There's a scene where he's there and Hanji is there in prison, and he gets mad at her. He yelling at her. He's basically flashing as if he's about to transform into a Titan, and he says, "If you've got something up your sleeve, Hanji, let me hear it." He's practically begging her to offer him other choices than the ones he made. His preliminary attack on Marley, as they tried to get the entire world to attack him. I personally don't think Eren was wrong. To me, we have a character that I'm fully on board. We've been ups and downs, and now he's older, cooler, he's colder. But we get it. We know what he went through. He saw the vision of his father and what he went through, with his father's sister. He saw everything, and he knows about the world outside, and he spent 4 years trying to find a way to get freedom. And the decision isn't hard. Isayama put Eren in a place to make a big decision, and whatever he decides, well, we're going to have to go along with it. So what makes Eren Jaeger compelling is he's a protagonist with many flaws, weaknesses. He doesn't always win. He loses more often than not. But he keeps moving forward. He was born into this world, and he just deserves to live. He deserves to be free. And that's the end of the video there. I appreciate you taking time to listen. Let me know in the comment section if you agree, disagree. I know not everybody's on the Eren train, so I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. And if you have anything I missed that makes Eren a compelling character, feel free to share that as well. If you liked the video, then like the video, subscribe, and check out my channel. I'm adding more videos constantly. I'll catch you guys later.